and say, well, so even like Joyce was saying earlier, you meet a guy, you get so excited, you're like, and you're nervous
Mhm.
energy and you're talking, and then they're like, she talked too much, I can't do it. One of the guys in the France said, I just asked her one question and she's taking 35 minutes to answer. And my ex used to say that. He said, ooh, my brain is bleeding because you're talking too much.
The glass overlooked, right? Like you realize you've lost them a long time ago, and it's partly because women, as women, we get excited about the details, and we want to, like, if we're talking about something, we want to, all the details. How do you make a decision and not know all the details and all the things, and we're just going on, and we can't fathom that men are wired differently. Men are like, just give me the bottom line. That's my husband. Just give me the
Mhm.
bottom line.
Mine
I
too.
hear what you're saying, but just, what's just like roll it down for me, give me a summary note thing. And I've learned that if he will hear me more if I give him less. I know it sounds weird, but I give it just like, okay, here's a thought. What do you think about that?
Mic
And then
drop.
process. I don't get that glass overlook like over because in their head, it just like they have this much capacity to hear. And if it's not details, if it's all the things that we want to talk about, then they get overwhelmed and they shut down. We get upset with them because of that and say, oh, he's just not listening. He doesn't want to hear me. It's a difference between how men and women are wired and how we communicate. And if we can appreciate and hold space, and what I mean by hold space for it is to respect that that's how they are and not try to turn them into a woman, not try to turn them into like, I need you to think like me and talk like me and communicate like me, like be able to slow ourselves down a little bit and hold. And so the challenge is for them to kind of hold a little more capacity for what we have to say. And the challenge on our side is to learn how to hold discipline for ourselves. Like our brains are running. We got all this information that we want to share. We hold it and we listen twice as much as we talk. We
Mhm.
end up getting more out of them because then they have a chance to process. They also will process longer than we will. We're like this, and then that thing, and then that thing. Oh, and put that together, and blah, 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 and, blah, 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 and we're just going. Guys need to hear it and they sit with it and they're like, and they contemplate and you know what I mean? Like they really process it out. And then they'll come back and say, yeah, that's a really interesting thought. You go, I'm glad you think so. And what about this part? And they'll go back and process that. So it's a different pace. And so holding space for them is to let them be men and how they're wired and appreciate space for that. And we will learn how to, like pace ourselves and hold that. Like you said, Joyce, like, I get excited. I want to say all the things, but learn how to hold that. And it gives you a chance to hear them more. And then they learn how to have a greater capacity for more of what we have to say. That's a give and take, ebb and flow thing that happens over time.
Mm.
I like that. But
Mhm.
how do you balance? Okay, I like what you're saying, and it's true, and it works to, pull back a little. My new thing is to let them talk the most. Because
That's
if I
great.
start talking, then
It's
it's
on.
gonna be a ghosting incident. So I'm trying to figure out how to balance because you don't want them to not be able to tolerate that you are a talker.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to, I just met a guy recently and he was like, I love to talk. You can call me anytime. I live alone. You can call me. We can talk. We can talk. We can talk. So I tried him.
Ah.
All right, I got your number. Let me call you up.
I tried him. I was like, and blah, 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 and this and blah, 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 blah. And I was just gone, blah, blah. I was like, you gonna ghost me. Next morning, he sent me a good morning. I was like, okay, he didn't ghost me yet. So he was telling the truth. But sometimes people say I'm a good listener, but really they're a good tune outer.
That's a good
Mm.
one.
Yeah.
That's a good
So,
one.
Yeah.
so,
Exactly.
so it's like, how do you like? I don't want a guy that's never gonna want to hear me talk.
Mhm.
Period. Like I gotta be quiet the whole time
Right.
through life.
One of the things I
Yeah.
found was helpful for me, because I'm a talker, as you can tell.
Mm.
I is to This is a need that I have that needs to be met. Does it all need to be met by him?
Mm.
Right? Like I can have two circles. One can be a circle crochet circle, and the other one can be a croquette patty. They ain't the same thing, but they look the similar. If it's a similar thing, right? Like I feel like I should be able to get my need met from the husband because he's my husband, he's my partner, he should be my all. That ain't true.
Right.
I might be able to talk to him all day about, croquette patties and food and all those things. But when the minute I start talking about crocheting a circle, I have lost him officially. No, he still loves me. I still love him. But I've got to be mindful of the things. So what I think is really a helpful formula, and this just works for me, you can try it and let me know what you think, is to pick and choose the things that you have really deep commonalities with. And that's where you get a lot of your communicate, a lot of your, because if you tap into what a man is really super interested in, he can go on forever. And then back and forth won't bother him because that's his well of interest. The minute you shift and you need to go into other things, find other people, other circles that fill that need so that that need still gets met, but the burden is not completely on the husband or the partner to fill it. So now, for example, now Mocha Cup, all the women coming in, everybody I get to see every week, I get to talk my brains out. That's great. And my husband's a social worker too, so he does a lot of talking. So at the end of the day, some of us will feel like, oh, I'm just exhausted. I don't want to say another word. I just want to take my mouth off my face and put it on the shelf and just let it rest for a little while because it just talks so much. And then there are other times when it's like, ooh, I ran into such and such, and did you hear about this thing? And we go back and forth, we go back and forth. We can talk about social work all day long. Then when we talk about other things, I might need to come to you guys and just have a chit chat about girl talk stuff or, fashion or all this stuff that will make him glass straight over. And so the goal is here is to have the need met. It doesn't all have to be met by the same person. It can be an eclectic mix of family and friends and girlfriends and social circles and da da da. These kind of come togethers that give you that sense of outlet. But the thing that you have matching with that partner, you lean into that heavy and you all can have conversations for hours around what you know are his deeper well interests. And I think that helps everybody feel that he's not overwhelmed and but he can feel like we have great conversation, but it's definitely not meeting your need up here. But it's wonderful. It's great to him and it meets everybody's needs. So that's just one way to look at it.